Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing the double streets. For those of you not familiar with the double streets, that's when you place a unit, you're covering 6 numbers. There's a single street and a double street, so we'll be covering 25 to 30. That's a double street. So we're going to be playing a progression, very simple, very easy to understand. As we go along, I'll show you how it works. So for today's video, I'm going to be using a 500 unit bankroll, and our target in mind is going to be 12 units per session. When we're in profit of 12 units, we're going to take a break, a 5-10 minute break, and come back again and go for another 12 units profit. So if we get 10 units profit, we're going to take that. We're not going to risk it for 2 units. So let's get started, and as we go along, I'll show you how the progression works. I'm going to make my bet selection based on the opposite numbers. So for example, number 8 was the last outcome, so I'm gonna place my 1 unit on the double street where 35 is located, because opposite of 8 is 35. So we're gonna keep our running count of 3. So let's get started. This is spin 1. The opposite of 13 is 29. So we're going to be covering that double street. We're going to keep our running count. So this is 2. And the opposite of 18 is 27, but 27 is already covered. So we're going to cover the double street with 18. So this is number 3 on our running count. Spin 3. So we lose all 3 spins. Our running count has come to an end. It's 3 is the furthest that we're gonna go. Now that we have lost on 3, we're going to rebet, increase 1 unit to each of our double streets, and we're gonna restart the count from 1. We're playing for 3 units profit and 12 units in the session. So once we get 3 units profit, we're going to restart the progression. So that's spin 1. When we're covering 3 double streets at once, we're not going to keep the running count until 3. We're going to stop at 2. So this is our second spin. So if we lose here, we're going to restart the count at 1, and we're going to raise our bets. So we win on 2. The opposite of 31 is 17. So we win on 2. We were betting 2 units. We're going to drop 1 unit and continue our running count. So this is going to be count number 3, or spin number 3, whatever you want to call it. So now that we lose on spin 3, the opposite of 36 is 7. We're going to increase our bets by 1 unit. We're going to restart the running count. So this is 1. We're down 7 units. We're looking for 3 units profit. So when you have a 0, here's what you're going to do. You're going to rebet. The last outcome was before the 0 was 36 and 31. We already have those numbers covered, which is 7 and 17. So the last number after is number 10, and the opposite of 10 is 26. So we're going to add number 26, and we're going to continue our count. So we have a win. That was I think count number 2. So we're going to continue our count, drop 1 unit. This is count number 3. And we lose on number 3. So we're going to rebet, cover number 36, which is the opposite of 7. we're going to increase our bets by 1 unit and restart the count. 1, we have a hit, so we check our profits. We're up at 2 units, so we're going to restart anyways. We were looking for 3 units, but we're going to restart. So we have 2. Our target is now 5 units. So the opposite of 18 is 27. We place 1 unit, we restart the entire progression. So this is count number 1. Opposite of 11 is 28. 28 already covered, so we're going to cover the double street with 11. Number 2. Number 3. So we have a hit, but we're not winning, we're not losing. That's a break-even even point. So we're still on 2 units profit. We're just going to restart the progression. Opposite of 8 is 35. Let's spin number 1. Rebet, add the opposite of 20 is 2. This is spin number 2. And we have a hit. We're looking for 5 units. We're up 5 units. So we're going to restart the progression. We're looking for 8 units profit. So the opposite of 35 is 8. We restart the progression. This is spin 1. Spin 2. We have a hit. We're looking for 8 units. We have that. Our next target is 11 units. So we're looking this for 3 more units profit. Spin number 2. $27 already covered. So we're going to cover 18. This is spin number 3. Playing for 11 units profit. So we lose all 3 spins. We rebet. We add 1 unit to each of our double street. Spin number 1. So we have a hit on spin number 1. We drop 1 unit. Continue our running count. So this is spin number 2. Spin number 3. Six is already covered, so we're going to cover the double street with 22. We're going to increase our bets by 1 unit. Spin number 1. And we have a hit. We're looking for 11 units profit. We have that. So this is where you take your break, a 5 to 10 minute break, and come back. So I'm just going to force a few spin and pretend that we took a break for 5 minutes. So let's say we forced 3-4 spins. So this is the fourth spin. We're forcing. Now let's go for one more. Right, so our new target now is 15 units. The opposite of 15 is 24. Base 1 unit. Opposite of 17 is 31. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we're just breaking even. So we're going to restart the progression. Opposite of 34 is 9. Spin number 1. Playing for 15 units profit. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we're breaking even again. Spin number 1. Restart the progression. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. Still breaking even. Opposite of 33 is 4. So we restart the progression. We're not winning, we're not losing. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. So our running count has ended on 3. We rebet, we increase by 1 unit. Restart our running count. 1. Playing for 15 units profit. Opposite of 3 is 23. We drop 1 unit. Continue our running count. So this is spin number 2. Spin number 3. Running count has ended on 3. We add the opposite of 31 is 17. So we're now covering 3 double streets. Our count has ended on 3. We increase by 1 unit. Restart the count. This is 1. We have a win, so we drop 1 unit. Continue our count. This is 2. $32 is already covered. We're going to cover 5. And this is 3. $31 already covered. We have ended our count on 3. We increase by 1 unit. Restart our count at 1. We have a win. playing for 15 units. We're up 17. Now before we were up 14 units, we could have restarted the progression right there instead of continuing the count. It was just 1 unit, so we had a extra spin in hand if we had restarted the progression, but as our bets is low, I just continued. So we're playing for 20 units profit. So we're going to restart the progression. The opposite of 13 is 29. So our new target is 20 units. This is spin number 2. We have a hit. We're playing for 20 units. We have that. Our new target is now 23 units. So we're going to restart. This is spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we're breaking even. Restart the progression from 1. Two. 3. And we lose all 3, so we're gonna keep to our 3 double streets. We're gonna increase by 1 unit and restart our count back at 1. Two. So we're covering 3 double streets, so we can't go for a third spin on the count. The count has to end at 2. What we're going to do is we're going to increase 1 unit to each of our bets. Restart the count at 1. Two. So again, the count has to end on 2 because we're covering 3 double streets. So we increase by 1 unit and restart the count. 1. So we're now having a losing streak, so I can show you guys how you play it. 2. We're down 28 units. We're looking for 23 units profit. So we won on 4. We were betting 4 units. So that's spin number 2. So we continue our running count and we drop 1 unit. So this is 3. So we lose on 3. We're going to increase by 1 unit. So both of our bets are 4 units. We're going to restart the count at 1. We have a hit on 1. We're going to drop 1 unit, go back to 3, continue with our count. So this is spin number 2. We have a 0. Opposite of 13 is 29, already covered, so we go back to 16. Opposite of 16 is 19. Spin number 3. We have a hit on spin number 3. When we win on spin number 3, we're not going to drop our bets. We're going to keep our bets to the same and just restart the count back at 1. So we were betting 3 units, so we're going to continue betting 3 units and just going to restart the count back at 1. Opposite of 21 is 1. Spin number 2. Five is already covered. So we're going to cover 32. Spin number 3. So we have a win on spin number 3. So we have to continue betting 3 units because we won on spin number 3. So we reset the count back at 1. Two. 3. So we lose on spin 3. Add 1 unit to each of our double streets. Restart our count to 1. So we win on 1, we're going to drop 1 unit, go back to 3, continue our running count, so this is 2. Spin number 3. So we lose spin number 3, we increase by 1 unit. Number 33 is already covered, so I'm going to cover the double street with 4. This is spin number 1, we're down 9 units. Spin number 2. So we can't go for a spin number 3 because we're already covering 3 double streets, so we have to increase by 1 unit. Spin number 1, we're down 33 units. We have a hit. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we lose spin number 3 on 4 units. Spin number 1. Spin number 2. We're down 45 units. We have a hit on spin number 2, so we drop 1 unit. Continue the count. This is spin number 3. We lose. We raise by 1 unit. Number 35 is already covered. We're going to cover 8. Spin number 1. We have a hit. Drop 1 unit. Continue our count. Spin number 2. We have a hit. Drop 1 unit. Continue our count. Spin number 3. We lose on spin number 3. We add 1 unit. We start the count. So it's 1. Drop 1 unit. Continue our count. This is spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we lose spin number 3, we increase 1 unit. We start the count. So this is 1. This is 2. We have a hit on 2, so we can drop our units by 1. Continue the count. This is 3. So we lose on 3. We increase by 1 unit. The number before 0 is 18. Opposite of 18 is 27. We have that covered. Opposite of 11 is 28. We have that covered. So we go back to 24. Opposite of 24 is 15. Spin number 1. We have a hit. We are looking for 23 units profit. We have made our target, so we're going to restart the progression. Opposite of 18 is 27. We are looking for 26 units profit. Now we are at 23 units profit. This is where you take your 5 to 10 minute break. So we have a hit. We're up 28 units. We take a break 5 to 10 minutes. We come back again. So you can see, guys, we had a losing streak there, but we got back up. We didn't put our bankroll in any danger. We're using a 600 unit bankroll for worst case scenario, but not necessarily need to use 600 unit as your stop loss. You can use less if you see that the wheel is not going your way. I mean, roulette is an unpredictable game. You never know what is going to happen. So I mean, you could just play responsibly, and you can use a smaller wager. You don't necessarily need to use a $1 wager. You can probably try a 50-cent wager or a 25-cent wager, and test it before you play for real money. You can always do your test and see how it's working for you, understand the progression, how it works, and when you have mastered it, then you can probably try playing for real money, but still go for the low wagers. You can start at a 25-cent wager just to be safe, So we have forced a few spins there. So I'll just give you guys one little run again to show you how it works. So that's 22, opposite of 22. Now you can make your bet selection based on the last outcome or opposite. Any you decide to make your outcome. Now like 22 came, you can make your bet selection based on the last outcome and block the double street where 22 is in. But I personally prefer the opposites. So opposite of 22 is 6. This is spin number 1. We're looking for 31 units profit. Spin number 2. Four is already covered. Spin number 3. So we're breaking even. Opposite of 1 is 21. Spin number 2. So I'll just go a little bit faster here. I think you guys have the hang of it. Spin number 3. Breaking even again. So we're not winning, we're not losing, so that's fine. We're just going to restart the progression. Spin number 1. Spin number 2. So we have a hit. We are looking for 31 units. We have that. Next target is 34 units. Spin number 2. So we have 34 units. Our next target is 37 units. I'll just go to 40 units and show you guys. Spin number 1. If you still don't understand everything clearly, feel free to ask me in the comments of anything that you're not sure about. I'll be happy to clarify for you. But as you can see, it's very simple. So this is spin number 3. So we lose all 3 spins. We rebet, we increase by 1 unit. Restart the count. We have a hit. We drop 1 unit. Continue with our count. So that was count 1. This is count 2. Or spin number 2, whatever you want to call it. Spin number 3. Lose on spin number 3, increase by 1 unit, restart the count at 1. Very simple, guys. Once you have the hang of it, it becomes very easy. So we have a hit on spin number 1. We drop our bets by 1 unit. So we made our 37. We're going for 40 units. So that's spin number 1. Spin number 2. That's playing for 3 units. So at 40. So we have a hit, and we have made our 40 units profit. We take a 5-10 minute break, come back again, and you go for another 10-12 units profit, and you can play it like that, guys. It's a very fun strategy. I hope you guys enjoy it. You can also let me know your favorite bet types, if you prefer to bet on the outside, or whether it be dozens or on the inside. I can always try to make a video to suit your bankroll if you're using 100 unit or 200 unit bankroll. You can also check out my previous videos where I cover different strategies on the outside, the straight up bets, and so on. You may find something that you enjoy or that is suitable for you. If you are new to this channel, you can subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like, and please play responsibly, guys. Remember, roulette is a risky and unpredictable game, so always be aware of the risk. Always do your test before playing for real money. And I hope you guys have fun with it, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.